Hey everyone, and welcome to World Conservation Summits. My name is Tanya Anderson, and I am the host on this amazing summit together with a special guest that is really one of my big heroes in life. I follow her work. I love to see what they're doing in the work. So it's a huge blessing to have them on here again. And her name is Marlice van Vuuren. I hope I say your name just as nice. Correct. Hey, my friend.
It's Marlice van Vuuren.
So nice to see you again here, my love.
Oh, that's nice to see you again. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. You're most welcome. So who is this amazing lady? Who is this organization? As you can see the logo on her blouse. So, okay, I will go for it. The organization is called the Nakusi Foundation. Is that correct, Sid?
That's correct. Yes, it's Nakusi Foundation.
Nakusi Foundation. Okay. So the vision they have is Africa where human and wildlife can live and thrive together. The purpose is to help conserve the landscape of Namibia, to protect the wildlife and improve the life of the people we work with through stability, innovations, and community activity. Is that correct, Sid?
Yes, so it's to improve the people's lives that we work with sustainable commercial activities like tourism and volunteerism.
Amazing. Yeah, so that is a little bit short about their vision. So why do I pick them again, and why this amazing organization is because I love, again, to follow the work, and one of the things they really are standing for is being transparency and being authentic and really be bold and also brave on standing in their meaning, like standing for what they believe, standing in serving the animals, standing in really making this world different. So human as nature, as animals is thriving together, and they can live their life as each living being deserve. And that is one of the, and they also have also other things working with. So there's organizations where you can go down and be a volunteer and really create a stronger knowledge around what is Africa. They know a lot of details around what is happening behind backstage. And the topic we are going into that is so interesting when we talk about that was like, oh my God, I have no clue that was happening. And I have that many times when I follow their work. So I really love what it stands for. And the topic we are going to talk about today is the metapopulations breeding of cheetah and wild dog. So tell us a little bit short about who you are, because you're co-founder and ex-laborator. So nerdy about all this wording. Are you there? I cannot see you. Melissa? Oh my God, there you are again.
Sorry, no, it just went quickly a bit dark, but all good.
I was like, are you jumping up now? No. Okay, tell us a little bit about who you are, and tell us a bit about that. And after, like, where did this start, since you are the hero of the wild animals you're working with?
Sorry for the dogs that's barking me in the background. It's our canine unit.
Oh, it's okay. I love it.
So I'm Marlice van Vuuren, and I'm the co-founder of Nakusi. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to just quickly get these dogs to just be a bit quiet.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
They're all over the place, so hold on for a second.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, let me try again. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm Marlice van Vuuren. I am the co-founder of conserve Foundation, and I'm also the executive director for the foundation. So I have to make sure that the work gets done. So we've started the foundation in 2003 with the start of a clinic, and it is now for humans. And we're looking at a holistic way of conservation. This is not just wildlife. Unfortunately, we have to, if you want to be sustainable in Africa, we have to look at the bigger picture. And I think not only Africa, but it's landscapes, the people we work with, and then also animals. And saying that, we have different scenarios. So if I talk about our metapopulation breeding or program with cheetahs and wild dogs in Namibia, these numbers of these animals are so low. They are endangered species. They're also a threatened species in Namibia and in Africa. So I know cheetahs are the charismatic ones that most people want to see as tourists. Wild dogs not. A lot of people think it's domestic dogs that became wild. They're not. So I normally love to give them the name or use the name the painted dogs of Africa, because they look like they've been water painted. Yeah. And they're so beautiful animals with a very complex social structure. So in Namibia, our numbers are declining because of human-animal conflict. Wild dogs go into areas where your conflict and the numbers are high, so they're normally loud when they hunt. They can cause a lot of damage. And in the national parks in Namibia, you don't find them. You find them only in one national park in the country, close to Botswana, which is very bad because our numbers will not grow if we don't have enough space. They need a lot of space, a lot of food, and not so many higher predators. So they don't do good in small areas with lions and leopards and hyenas, because they get killed by the higher rank predators. So cheetahs, the same thing. It's almost the same story, but with them, they go onto commercial farming. And with commercial farms, this is now sheep, goat, and cattle farms. These are farms that are breeding with these animals in large numbers to be able to make a living and export. And then these cheetahs will come onto their property and take some of the livestock out, hunt on them, because it's like a dollar meal. If there's a sheep next to you, why would you go for a kudu? It's a lot more work. So they normally go for the easiest prey. Not all of them, but especially when it's youngsters coming into a new area, they're going to hunt the easiest food, the quickest that they can find. And then they are in conflict. So they either get shot, they get trapped. So we started years ago with our rapid response unit. And this is mostly for carnivores, but we deal with elephant, rhinos, meerkats, you name it, on whatever level there is a bit of conflict. So we realize with the cheetahs and the wild dog numbers, they are declining. And it's because we are cutting land up. It's smaller, fragmented land in Namibia, and it's commercial farmland. So there's a massive competition with cattle and sheep and goats. And there's not so much tourism value on wild dogs, that the numbers are declining. So we're always looking at conservation as a toolbox when you have a car or when you're a mechanic, and you have different tools in this toolbox. And which tool do you use for what scenario? And if we don't have the tool in the toolbox, we make sure you get the tool, you get the people with the right knowledge in this toolbox. So if we deal now with wild dogs and cheetahs, yes, we're dealing on a daily basis with the conflict. But what is the long-term outcome on our conflict is, yes, you work on a relationship with the farmer. We try and prove with evidence that not all cheetahs are problems, not all wild dogs are problems. You can farm around them if you change your farming practices a little bit. But numbers are still declining. So if we want to have wild dogs and cheetahs in the next couple of years left in Namibia, free roaming, not in captivity, we will have to look at numbers. How are we going to increase the numbers so that they don't get extinct and die out? And put a value to them. So we've looked at the scenario and the model of South Africa. In South Africa, there's a researcher called Vincent van Merwe, and he's doing such an amazing job. He is monitoring wild dogs and cheetahs on private land and making sure that they don't inbreed and that they are breeding and that they are swapping out cheetahs. So if you have new baby cheetahs born and there's 6 little boys, they can't stay in the same place. They're going to overpopulate the area, or they're going to breed with their mummy. So then he moves these cheetahs to different locations. And suddenly there's a value, because now everybody wants a cheetah, and there is a tourism value to it, and you get the numbers up. And you actually know what's going on the numbers side. How many is there? So we are looking at doing the same for Namibia. It might be a bit different because we're looking at an open area and we're looking at commercial farmland. But for the different reserves that we have, Nakuse, Timbila, Harnas, Kanan, and Noiras, is to make sure that we manage the populations of the free roaming wild dogs and cheetahs in that area and not have inbreeding, and that we swap genetics out and make sure that the population is healthy and growing. So that's where we are heading to, and hopefully we can do it for the whole of Namibia.
Oh, that is so powerful. And I have no, like when we talk about that, I have no clue around cheetah is going down. And when I was in Africa, I saw a wild dog. I believe I saw a wild dog like long away. And it's a beautiful, as you say, it's like, it seems like if someone had put like a bit of paint on it, because the spot is so like clean and clear. It's just an interesting dog to watch. So you have touched a little bit space on it, around the threat you're facing, why this topic is critical to really put some awareness about as we are doing together in the summits. So touch the space on clear on what is the 3 threat you are faced and why this topic is critical around the cheetah and wild dogs.
So our biggest threats to cheetah and wild dogs is landscapes. Areas are becoming too small. We are taking more and more of their land away for farming. So your conflict is going up. So people is still the biggest threat to these 2 species. Their numbers are declining because of they're getting shot and poisoned. They're not. And this is not even touching the other carnivores. This is just because we have some rules about cheetahs. Wild dogs, I don't even have received a call this year, which is 6 months later. We have not had a conflict for wild dogs. So this means the numbers are really low because there's no conflict. You get phone calls, you know, at least there's a few cheetahs causing trouble. But if you don't get phone calls for wild dogs, it's worrying because then there isn't anything left to cause problems.
It's a little bit scary.
You know, it is scary. It's scary, and it's time that we get tourists and volunteers to visit Africa and make sure your money goes to the right places, volunteer at the right places, that you can actually make a difference.
Yeah, 100%. And also, when you choose to volunteer, you also receive so much learning, like so much growth around self-development. Like you guys out there really invite you to go down there and visit Africa, because Africa is a beautiful country, and also to visit, oh my God.
Namibia.
Namibia and this amazing organization called Nakuse Foundation. And because the growth you are gaining, the wisdom you're gaining is priceless, priceless. What you receive or growth, self-development, and also really get connected with your identity and what your purpose is for life. When you give back to organization, when you give back to animals that need you, you are creating so much inside knowledge around yourself, because there is a connection there. There is priceless you are gaining as a volunteer. So definitely I will invite you to go out there and be a volunteer, and over a longer period of time, I will invite you to definitely go at least 1 month or more as a volunteer. You gain most insight around that time frame. So how you deal with this threat is definitely to be a volunteer, to supporting organization as you that's really doing a mission there. If a person wants choose to go to Africa and they have seen other different kind of organizations, can they connect with you guys and say, hey, is this organization a good one? Because I have here some organizations in Africa, like you could go and give bottles to cops, is maybe not a good idea to go to.
You know, I think if you look in Africa nowadays with the internet, it's so easy to find information. It's a click of a button and you can find out if it's the right place or not. I think the main aim that young people or people that want to go and volunteer is to say, where is the money going? What do I benefit out of it? Can I learn from it? And what are they doing in the country where they are situated? Are really making difference in the population of cheetahs or whatever the research is? And is there research papers published? It's an applicable research for the country. It's not just, you know, to get the funding for another grant for cheetahs or another grant for wild dogs. So I would, if I volunteer, I would always look at what is the holistic picture. Are they doing an educational part to it? Do they have a school? Is there some kind of landscape conservation? Because I know how important that is in Africa, is to keep areas intact for animals. And then there's scenarios where you have very good zoos, for instance, and then you have zoos that are not really there for the animals, but for. And I think that's the point. You have very good places, make the right decision. It's a click of a button on Google and you can find all the information you need, and make sure you volunteer and benefit. And I always tell volunteers, you know, if you are at Nakuse, do you leave a footprint behind? And that's something very important for me, especially nowadays that young people don't communicate. They all on their phones the whole time and they don't talk anymore. Do you leave a footprint behind? Will people remember you when you leave? And when you go back, what do you contribute to that organization that you've been? Do you spread the word? Do you just look at the weather differently? Did the wind blow today? Most people don't even know if the wind blows because they sit in the office. They don't know if it's cold because they have a heater. I have aircon in the summer. So do you feel a bit connected? And that's how we want Namibia teaches people, is to just connect somewhere with nature. We are totally disconnected, and yeah, so if you connect it, you will make a difference because you will feel more part of it. But we can't distance ourselves. We are actually the biggest influencing. We're influencing nature more than we should, and we're not. Yeah, I always tell my kids is let life happen to you and don't think you're going to live this type of life. Make the world, give it the opportunity so that life can.
So powerful, so powerful. So I mean, we talk a little bit about it like in the beginning, because sustainability is also very important also to this topic around metapopulations, breeding of cheetah and wildlife is really also focused on sustainabilities as a human being when they are out, what you're working with down there, and also people at home, and really have that awareness about sustainability is very important to really work with. So how do you work with that around this topic in your work?
So for sustainability, we're looking at recycling, trying to get most of the properties on so you can get off the grid, and lower your impact on our groundwater, on our vegetation. We are feeling global warming in Namibia. We have extreme winters with very long winters where we don't have as much rain, and then suddenly we have floods.
Wow.
So we feel it in the last couple of years, we felt global warming. We're only 2.5 million people, so our contribution to warming is very small. But we do feel it because we live in a very sensitive environment. We have desert, we have semi-deserts. So your rainfall influence, your winters is too long. It influences from a snake to a bug to cheetahs. It influences everything. So if we can limit or bring the impact that we create on the environment ourselves at Marlice properties, with just solar, recycle all the water, try and produce our own food as far as possible, and also produce food for the animals. This is now Lucerne. So, for instance, they need food in dry seasons, and then you have to import it from South Africa. Fresh fruits and vegetables comes from South Africa, because nobody really plants anything in Namibia because of our rainfall problems. But if we can sustain our recycle our water, you can do certain crops, you can do foods, and we can produce food for our animals. So on all these properties, we either are busy putting up a schedule that we're starting to plant, or we're already planting.
Oh, so amazing, and also important to really know that is also one of the key to really also, that is one of the key to the solutions to what nature as wild animals as human health is facing, is really on sustainability. Also where you are out there is really how can you create that in your own lifestyle, and also focus on that when you choose to travel down to Namibia and as volunteers. So around the topic around how can a person like me in Denmark or other people all over the globe supporting this amazing topic around breeding, metapopulation of breeding of cheetah and wild dog?
So I think you can subscribe to our newsletter. You can there is a donation page, and you can direct your donation directly to say, I want to be part of this project. Or just come to, I know the best would be to just come and be a tourist in Namibia as a normal tourist. Everybody in the country benefits when you travel. It's a safe country. We're going for spring now, so nice home. Friendly people, so easy to travel. And you have a lot of square kilometers with nobody on it. A lot of space with nobody.
Oh, that's amazing. And also one of the actions also to be volunteer when you go down there in Namibia. So how long time, what is volunteer life? We have touched a little bit space before we ended this amazing interview, touched a little bit space around, we talk about volunteer life, and how long time can a person be together with you as a volunteer, and can they stay with you guys, or how is that?
Okay, so we normally ask for a 2-week minimum. because it really takes you 2 weeks to find your feet and figure out what's going on in the country. And also, so at Nakuse, you can either come straight to the sanctuary. This is Nakuse itself. And then from here, you can go to the different locations. So you don't have to pre-book everything and say, okay, I want to do a week here, a week there. You can change it when you're here, or you can book it directly on the sites. You have anti-poaching units. You work in the canine unit if you love dogs. We do foot patrols on security, where you go with a anti-poaching guard. You can go with there. You will see rhino, elephants, lions on foot. The sanctuaries, we have 2 full-time veterinarians. We have biologists. We have animal husbandry people on the ground. We have from meerkats to baboons, and then animals that has gone through the rehab phase are released back into the wild, and you can still then go and monitor these animals as a volunteer. So you can stay as long as you want. You can stay up to 6 weeks to a month, 3 months. You are a tourist in the country, so you don't need a visa to come in, and it makes it difficult. You're a normal tourist. And then the other side that we have, where we actually started Nakuse, is we have the humanitarian side to it, the people side to it. We have a clinic in the east where we look after the San Bushman community in that area. We have an ambulance. We've got 2 full-time nurses there. You don't have to have any medical background, because these people that knows what they are doing, but you can then assist with, blood pressure, filling in the forms, the ages, how many men, how many women, and that's we call the clinic the Lifeline Clinic, and it really started as the lifeline in that area, in that community. I promise you, when you go there, it is a lot of poverty. A lot of the volunteers come back and they say they appreciate the fact that they have a light switch where there is nothing. People living in shacks, but they are so friendly. They are so happy. There is no aggression in that area. But yeah, so that's where Nakuse started. And you can do a week, you can do 2 weeks there, you can do a month there. People that want to go into either education or social working or psychology or nursing, doctors, medical direction, that would be something I would recommend to really think. Most people think it's such a romantic job. Will you be able to emotionally do it? And then also to find which direction do you want to go in. You like children more, or you want to do the educational part to it. So at the clinic, we have a school for the kids, the orphan children in that community. We have a school now for 170 children.
Oh, wow.
That's coming to school. The doors are open. This is the amount of kids that's now coming. It might change in a year's time. And it's amazing. Every time we think we can't accommodate that amount, you get to the school and it's coping. And we give a meal every day to the kids. And it's for most of the children, the first and the only meal for that day. So, and it's a blessing to be able to do that. So for volunteers, I think, to go to the clinic is something that you really contribute to an area where people are really struggling. And you have to think about your values. It makes me think about my values constantly. It's not a choice where you are born. It's the card that you are dealt. And are you really grateful for what you've gotten? So I think that is, for me, my ground. Every time I go to the clinic, there's so much more we have to do, and also to be grateful for. But in saying that, we have a beautiful school at Nakuse. for all the children. You can do a day at the school if you want to volunteer, or you can do a week. We're very flexible. So we started a new project in the beginning of this year, in 2023. It's a coastal project where we clean our coastline of Namibia. We've started it because we really got just so annoyed every time we go to the coastline, and it's so beautiful and development is low, and you get there and we have plastic on the beach and cans and bottles and people having a party and just leave everything there, and then a lot of stuff that comes out of the ocean. But majority was public leaving just garbage on the beach. So we decided we have to do something. I mean, we have to be good Namibian citizens and Namibians. So what can we do to change this? And we decided, okay, let's start picking up garbage. And in January, we started picking up garbage every week. We have picked up the most, almost 2 tons of garbage in 3 days in a very short stretch of only 15 kilometers on the beach. And every week we go back to the areas we've cleaned already. We have not even touched the dunes yet. We're only on the beach. And unfortunately, we still picking up a lot of garbage. So the plan here is to influence Namibians, because it happens on a daily basis, to just get people to bend down, pick up a cigarette butt, stop throwing a beer cap out of the car or a Coke can out of the car. Just pick it up. Our beaches and our desert is so sensitive. Stuff don't erode like in the inland. Everything rusts and stay there for years, thousands of years. So, and animals are very sensitive in those areas. We've got tiny little beetles to bugs to scorpions, birds. And if we're constantly throwing garbage around and not picking it up, we will cause a big decline in the numbers of birds and seals. And it's not nice to see that. And especially living in the country and being a Namibian, I think it's our responsibility to pick it up.
So strong, so powerful. And it is, when you share that around your project, it was just like, oh my God, it was so amazing. Because if we really going out there, as you also experience, and showing how to pick it up and again and again and again, I believe people start to have your organization, have people in their minds just like, oh, there's a plastic, because the brain remember like to pick it up, and they pick it up, hopefully. So that is amazing. So what is 3 actions people can do to support your organization and your work all over the globe?
I think the best would be to start at home. People can start at home, start making a difference in your tiny little space. And hopefully a little bit of Nakusi can be contagious, because we need to not look only at Namibia or in Africa, is what do we do, what can I make different, and what's the influence I can have at home. It's a global thing. It should be a holistic look out of what we can change. So I hope that people can recycle, buy a little bit less plastic. If you buy plastic that could be recycled, or things that could be recycled. That's a small step in the right direction. If you buy, for instance, a toothpaste, try and buy one without a boxy. It's already sealed. Simple things. But yeah, that I would say first thing. And then the second thing, if people do travel to countries that really benefits from tourism. Namibia survives on tourism. It's our biggest income. And support, like we say, as properties and as volunteer tourism entities, that will help. You can just drink a cup of coffee at Nakuse and you will support the foundation. So, and then we've got a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. People can get involved there. There's wish list of what we need. We've got so many. I mean, you can buy a pencil and a kid will benefit at a school. So there's not hundreds and thousands of money, that we need on donations. Yes, we do. But if you can't, single thing does make a difference in Africa. So I would say first start at home. See what you can do different at home. And then if you do travel, come and visit us. It will help.
100%. And how can people support the topic around metapopulation of breeding of cheetah and Africa wild dogs? Like, how can a person support that amazing work you're doing around there?
So I think the main thing is to read up on it, get information, get knowledge, because knowledge makes us stronger and wiser and make right decisions. So if people do travel to Africa, where these animals are still free roaming, is to make sure you know where they are. And then with the support from Nakuse is we have a website. All our new projects that we are running is on our Facebook page and on our website. And people can get involved, send us an email, send us a Facebook message, or on Instagram or Twitter, and you can get involved in that space. And awareness is most important. We need to get the word out there that it's not always the charismatic ones that needs the funding. Wild dogs are seen as not the sexy animals in the wild, because they are so they're gruesome hunters, and they are not seen as this. The cheetahs are sexy, but wild dogs do need the help and do need people to actually start thinking about, if they are not there, you can't recreate them. They have a place in the ecosystem, and we need to fight for that.
Amazing. And to you, the audience, how do we get accents or connected with Nakuse? I will hope I say that correct. Nakuse. Nakuse. Is that correct?
Yes. You're getting better every time. So Nakuse is written very strangely. It's a Bushman word. It's here on my t-shirt, or on my shirt. So it means God looks after us. He protects us in Bushman, in San Bushman. It's the Zutron dialect. And we decided to keep the word or the name because that was our clinic's name, where we actually started for the San Bushman, a basic healthcare clinic. And you can find us on Instagram. You can just Google. You don't even have to put the slashes and the komma's in. And it's just Nakuse. For most people, there is I Love Nakuse is a volunteer Facebook page. And I think we're going to put the link on our website on this. And on the website, you can find anything. You can either go on donations, and then we've got different places in Namibia that you can visit. So if you go to Nakuse, you can see the whole of Namibia. Okay. And you really travel with a proper conservation message. By just staying in the lodge, you contribute to the foundation.
Amazing. And to the audience is go below this video. There is the link to the webpage and social media. And also go back straight in your email. You will see from us. There is also the information. So click on that. And we will invite you to sign up to the newsletter so you get updated and get information and really feel you are part of it. Feel part of the movement, part of the work. And so that you can be educated through their newsletter and through what they are doing in the work. So the last question I have for you, Marlice, is what advice would you like to give to your 20 years old you with the wisdom you have today around your work and conservation?
Sure, that's a mouthful. I think I get this question a lot. What can I do to make a difference? What can I do to start in conservation? I think the most important thing is find something you really love and be passionate about it. And if you start doing that, to keep the focus on why you started it, what was the objective in the beginning, and don't lose direction. Be persistent every single day, do the same thing over and over in the right direction, don't redirect your steps, and you will get there and you will make a difference. So I say luck, luck is always on the side of somebody that's persistent and continue in the right direction. And don't do it for the money. If you do it for the money, you're in the wrong direction. Then you should become a surgeon or, somewhere else. But conservation is not money.
Oh, no.
Conservation is by the heart. So if you want to do that, there's a lot of heartache, but it's fulfilling. And if you pick that, I think I'm always, every day, I'm so grateful because I can see the bigger picture and that I'm connected to nature. And I feel part of nature. I'm not disconnected. So I would say pick the right direction. It's not for everybody. But you have to have the drive and the passion for it. It's not something you start and stop in the middle. You have to go the long way, the long miles, put it in.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much. And we thank you so much, the audience, for staying here. Stay tuned. And we appreciate your time. We really invite you to go straight into the newsletter, sign up to Nakose. Oh, I get so praised. Nakose.
Well done. Getting better.
Oh,
we didn't make it easy. We picked the worst word for tourism.
How you say it? So you say it's just like, oh my God, it's to practice that wording with my tongue.
It's a nakuse.
Nakuse. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. I'm going to correct myself. Okay. Come back to nakuse.
That was our last word. Thank you so much for staying here. And thank you so much, Marlice, for being amazing. And will it be a person that inspire me as your organization, that amazing word you're saying every day. It is amazing how you're showing up every day in your work. And I really appreciate that. And also say it's so important also to the honor to find someone that's your role model, to find someone that inspire you, motivate you, no matter what you're facing. And this organization is organization that really motivate me to keep going no matter what I'm facing. And because commitment is not a feeling, commitment is connected with the vision, the high purpose in your life. So thank you so much for bottom of my heart again, for you to be amazing speaker and outstanding in your work you're doing in the world.
Thank you so much for your time again.
You're most welcome. To the audience. And to you, my dear friend. Bye, everyone.